Hello everyone, my name is Marissa and I'm going to do a tutorial today for the Potomac Bead Company. And for today's tutorial, I'm going to show you how to make this bracelet here that I'm calling my Alisa bracelet. So this is how it looks. And a little preview, this is how it looks on. So for today's project, you are going to need storm duos. And for the one I'm going to make with you today, I'm going to use the jet color. My bracelet is just under 7 inches. It's about a little bit under 7 inches. And so I made 8 little components here. For each one, you're going to need 4 storm duos. So for a bracelet the size as mine, you will need 32 storm duos. So probably anywhere from 32, 36 to 40 storm duos. Now I happen to have 33 in here, so I will be able to complete my project. These are the newest beads from Potomac Bead Company, and these are exclusive to them, so you will have to purchase them with Potomac Bead Company. You won't be disappointed. They have so many colors there, and they're all just as gorgeous. You will also need the 2-hole spacer bezel. On this one, I use the antique silver. For the one I'm going to make with you today, I'm going to use the antique vintage brass, and I'm going to need 8. You're going to need 1 per unit. And they come in packs of, oh, I can't see, I kind of ripped my label there. I don't know if it's packs of 10 or 12. I think it's 10. But I have some silver ones mixed in with these. But you will need 1 per unit, and I'm going to need 8. So you will need anywhere from 8 to 10 for yours. You will also need some chatons, the size SS24, and I'm going to need 1 per bezel. And I'm going to use the color Chili for the one I'm going to make today. This is a very pretty color. I really like it. It goes with so many different colors. You will also need a variety of seed beads. Now I got a lot of tubes here, but you don't need to use this many. I'm going to use 2 different colors. They're all Miyuki. You will need 8-ohs, 11-ohs, and 15-ohs. I'm going to be using 2 different colors of each. I'm going to be using the metallic light bronze in the 15-oh and the eucalyptus in 15-oh. In 11-ohs, I'm also going to be using a light bronze and the matte patina iris. For my 8-ohs, I'm going to be using the ivory pearl Ceylon and the silver line dark, I think it's mint. I think it says mint. So this is another really pretty color. Really like it. A fastener of your choice. I'm going to be using, I took out 3 because I'm not sure which color I'm going to use. But I love these little table cut buttons. They're just gorgeous and they just add so much to your project. So I may use this one, the black with the bronze, or the jade, or this color. I can't remember the name of it, but it's just like a brown, not an opaque brown, but like a crystal brown. I wish I had the name. It came in my samples. I got a sample bag from Potomac with my last order, and it came in there. So I don't know the name of it. I'll check. I will check, and I'll get that name for you later on in the video. You will also need thread, and I'm going to use Wildfire 0.006 in green. 2 needles. I'm going to use 2 size 10s, and I think I'm going to switch this one out. A flathead plier, and scissors or something to cut your thread with. I'm going to use the Ultra Thread Zap. So go ahead and get your materials together, and then we will get started. Okay, so I've already made piles of pretty much everything I'm going to need, except for my crystals. If you would like, you can prepare your 2-hole bezels first by putting in a little bit of E6000 glue, spreading it around a bit with a toothpick, even an old needle you don't like, and then putting your crystal in there, spreading it around, and then just letting them sit overnight. I'm going to put mine after I make my bracelet because I didn't get mine ready. That's okay, however you choose to do it. So I already made one little component here, and I have all my beads spread out all over my beading area. So I have one, but don't let that throw you off. Just go ahead and stick one needle through one end of your bezel. So your string needs to be coming out of your bezel. And again, just ignore all of the beads. Just look at my string and my 2-hole bezel. So, and make sure you have equal amounts of thread coming out. So you're coming out of one side of your bezel. Pick up 3 15-0s on each needle, an 8-0 after your 3, and then 3 more 15-0s. So 3 15-0s, 8-0, 3 15-0s on each needle. Let them drop. Then cross through the other side of your bezel. Since this is your first unit, I already have one on there, so mine's going to stay in place. But since this is your first one that you're doing, just make sure that you stay with equal amounts of threads. Okay, now I'm coming out of my bezel, and this is kind of loose here. That's fine. Don't worry about it. Don't go crazy pulling it really tight, making it like that. Just pull on it, and it's going to stay loose. That's fine. We'll fix it. Just pull it to where it looks neat. And, well, just like that. You're even going to have a little bit showing, but it's okay. We're going to fix that. And then on goes a 15-0 again on each needle. Let them drop. Now we're going to add our storm duos. Our storm duos are going to go on like this after your 15-0, like that. This one won't stay. Like this. So you're going to go in through the curve. So I'm going to go ahead and do that on both. Again, this is my right side. My needle's going in, and I'm going in like this. Pull. And now we should be coming out through the other side of our storm duo. On goes 3 more 15-0s, and I'm going to use my bronze now. 3 15-0s. And again, you don't have to use 2 colors, but I am. So after I have my 3, go in through the other hole of your storm duo. And I'm going to do this one at a time because I have thread everywhere and it looks kind of confusing. And everything is going to get jumbled up. That's okay. Everything's going to fall into place. So I'm coming out of my storm duo. I'm just going to pick this up in my hand. I don't want to get too tangled here in between my 15-0s. Okay. I need to push that down. Coming out, I've added my 3 15-0s. Coming out of my storm duo, I'm going to go in through my 8-0. And only my 8-0. And then I'm going to put in another storm duo again. And it's going to mirror the way the other one looks. So I'm going to go in like this. I'm going to pick up 3 more 15-0s in my bronze color. I'm going to go through the other hole of my storm duo. I'm going to pick up a 15-0, and I'm going to go through my bezel on the other side where we started, and through there only. Pull both of your threads, and this is going to put everything in place. Now do this on the other side. Okay, so I did this side, and I'm coming out of my bezel. So I'm just putting my needle down, and I'm going to work on this side. So I already have my 15-0 my storm duo like this and 3 15-0s. I'm going to go through the other hole of my storm duo. Pull it tight and then kind of hold your storm duo unit, your little beads there. Hold them while you pull so that you get your storm duo as close to your bezel as possible, as long as you get all your beads nice and tight with no thread showing. Like this. Now go through your 8-0, and since I already did the other side, this side is easier to do. It's not getting all loose and everything on me. And then now I'm going to do the same thing that I just did. I'm going to pick up a storm duo like this. I'm going to pick up 3 of my bronze 15-0s. I'm going to go through the other hole of my storm duo. And then I'm going to pick up one more 15-0, but I'm going to use my other color. Pull tight. Again, hold your storm duo and pull tight. I'm going to pick up my eucalyptus, green color. I'll just use green. Say green. And I'm going to go through this 2-hole bezel. This time though, I want to catch these beads again, which would be your 15-0 that's right before your storm duo, and then come out of your storm duo. And if you catch those 15-0s, that's fine, because we need to go through all those again to put our beads here at the top. So I'm going to go through these other 15-0s. Of course, I didn't do it with my other needle at the beginning because I didn't have this other unit on the other side to go through. So that's why it's just coming out of my bezel. But in a minute, once I'm done here, I will do the same thing on this side. So go through your storm duo again and pull. If I get my thumb in the way, don't worry, because I'll show you afterward where I should be coming out of. Coming out of my, my storm duo, I'm going to go through the 8-0 again. And if you can catch the other storm duo on the other side. Now we're going to go up through this storm duo here. Oop. Let me pull my other thread out. This is what happens when I try to do a tutorial with too much thread. I really should do my tutorials with less thread. Okay, so I'm coming out of my storm duo here. On this side, coming out of my bezel. I'm going to go through the 15-0 here that's part of the 15-0 with the storm duo grouping. So go through there, go through your storm duo. You might catch your first 15-0 on the other side of your storm duo. That's great. And then go through the rest of your 15-0s. And then, I should just do this a little bit at a time so I don't ruin my beads. Now I'm going to go through my storm duo. Pull. I'm going to go through this 8-0 here. And see, doing this step reinforces your storm duos here so that they're not all wobbly and loose. You want a piece of jewelry that's nice and firm. I'm going to come out of this storm duo here, and now I'm coming out on both of my threads are coming out of these 2 storm duos here. Okay, so both of my threads are coming out of my storm duos here. I've already put in my storm duo groupings here with my 15-0s. And once I crossed through my 2-hole bezel, I came out and I went through the 15-0s that are part of the groupings with the storm duos. Went through those 15-0s on both sides, through the storm duo, out of the storm duo, went through these 3, then into the other hole of my storm duo, in through the 8, coming out of the storm duo here. So that's how I made it here. Now here, I'm going to pick up a 15-0, a patina color, or I'll just say green, of my 11-0, another 15-0, and I'm going to go through this storm duo here again, and I'm going to circle around and go through that 8-0 the way I did a little while ago. If you come out from the bottom, that's fine. Just stick your needle back into your project. Go through this storm duo. And then I'm just going to turn it. Go through these 15-0s. Going into the storm duo, in through the 15-0 after it, and out of my 2-hole bezel only. This time, once you come out of your 2-hole bezel, do not catch anything on the other side. So now I'm ready to do the other side. I'm coming out of my storm duo. On goes a 15-0, an 11-0, a 15-0. Going to go through my other storm duo through here. I'm going to hold my piece there. And I'm going to turn it as I sew. I'm going to go through my 8-0. Go back in. And then go in through this, whoops, storm duo here. And then I'm going to coming out of my storm duo, I'm going to make my way back to my 2-hole bezel by going through these 3 15-0s, in through my storm duo and the 15-0 after it. Make sure you grab that 15-0. And through my 2-hole bezel. So now both of my strings are coming out. I'm just going to make sure I got that 15-0. Yes, I did. There would be thread showing and there's not. Okay, so I'm coming out of my 2-hole bezel. And now we're ready to do this middle part here, the connecting part. That is very easy. You're just going to pick up an 11-0, an 8-0, an 11-0. And I'm using my bronze. I'm using my green 8-0s. And then another 11-0 bronze. So 11-0, 8-0, 11-0. Let them drop. And we're going to cross through a 2-hole bezel. So here we go, this side. And just make sure when you put in your next bezel that it's facing the correct way. The first one doesn't matter how you put it, obviously. Just make sure from here on out that they're all facing upward. You don't want to finish your project and find one of your 2-hole bezels is facing down. So that's what you got, and you're ready to do all of that again. So I'll do one more with you. 3 15-0s in my green, 8-0, 3 more 15-0s, 3 15-0s, 8-0, 3 15-0s on each needle. And then we're going to cross through the other side of our bezel. Okay, so I just finished putting on one side 3 15-0s, 8-0, 3 15-0, went through my 2-hole bezel. I just showed you. And on the other side, I just did the same thing. 3 15-0, 8-0, 3 15-0. And I'm coming out of, I crossed through my bezel. I'm coming out of it. Now, after you're coming out of your bezel, and I'm separating these so you can see what I put. It's 15-0, storm duo, 3 15-0s. Just like this on both sides. And I am going to do one side at a time. I did get this one ready, but I am going to do one side at a time. So, put my needle down on this side. I have my little grouping there. Going to go through my storm duo. I'm going to hold it as I pull. Then I'm going to go through my 8/0 here. And I'm going to pull and try not to get my thread tangled. Okay. I'm going to pull this one on the other side too so that it doesn't come out too loose. Okay. Now I'm ready to put in my other storm duo. Going in through my storm duo like this. Picking up 3 of my bronze 15/0s. Go through the other hole of my storm duo. Going to pull, holding my storm duo while I'm pulling my thread. Then I'm going to pick up a 15/0 in my other color and go through this 2-hole bezel. Okay, so I did one side. Now I tried doing this with one needle. You can do it with one needle, except it wasn't sitting right. It just wasn't. I don't know if I'm just bad at using one needle. It could be. Maybe some of y'all, are better at that than I am, and you can keep your tension right. But that's why I'm showing you with 2 needles, because I don't want to do it with one needle and then it looks all weird. So, but try doing it with one needle. Maybe yours will come out better than mine. So I'm coming out of that 8/0, picking up my next storm duo like that, letting it drop, picking up 3 more 15/0s, going through my other hole of my storm duo, holding my storm duo while I pull, picking up another 15/0. Now when I go through my bezel, I'm going to try to catch as many beads as I can on the other side, because now we need to put our little unit here, our little grouping that goes there. So coming out on this side, do the same thing, go through this 15/0, through the storm duo. Whoops. If that happens, just pull. Everything will go back to place. Coming out of my storm duo, I'm going to go through these 15/0s. And then just make sure that you always catch that 15/0 there, because if you don't, it's going to throw you off. Okay. Coming out of those 3, I'm going to go through my storm duo, then my 8/0, and then out of my storm duo. So this is what I have on this side, and then just catch up with your needle on this side. Coming out of my storm duo already, I'm going to go through these 15s, pull, go through my storm duo here, go through my 8/0 here, and then out my storm duo. So I am in place on both sides now to add 15/0, 11/0, 15/0. Go through this storm duo here. So you're going to end up circling around. And I'm going to show you how to do that again. Okay. So I was coming out of my storm duos here on both sides. I did do some more units. That way I can, when I show you this part, we can go ahead and put on our cut button. And I went ahead and decided to put my jade color cut button. Okay, so I'm coming out on both of these from this hole here, on both of these super duos on both sides. And then it's 15/0, 15/0, 11/0, 15/0. I'm gonna go in through this storm duo here, going in through this 8/0 here, and then up this storm duo again. I'm gonna pull, And then I'm going to go through these 15-0s here, through my storm duo, through the 15-0 that's next to it, and out of my 2-hole bezel. So I'm coming out of there. I'm going to do that on this side now. Coming out of this storm duo here, going to pick up 15-0, 11-0, 15-0. Whoop. I'm going to go through the storm duo here. That's going to put my 15-0, 11-0, 15-0 in place. Going to go through this 8-0 and out of this storm duo. And then down these 15-0s here. Through my storm duo after those. Through the 15-0 after that. And through my bezel, and only through my bezel. Okay, so I'm coming out here. Now, I'm going to do the same kind of unit like that I did here, in between there, like those little connecting units. I'm going to do 11-0, 8-0, 11-0 on both needles. 11-0, 8-0, and 11-0. Drop those down. Now I'm going to pick up my lovely, I wonder if I should do another, I guess I'm fine. Now I'm going to pick up, in here, I'm going to pick up, because I want to decorate the inside of my table cut button. So I think I'm going to do an 11-0, a pearly 8-0, and a bronze 11-0. Gonna go down the other side, and yeah, I like how that looks. On this side, I already have my 11-0, 8-0, 11-0. I'm gonna go up through this hole of my table cut, and I'm going to go through these beads. These beads are still loose. I haven't tightened them, so that's why it's easy to go through them. And I'm going to go down. I'm going to pull on both of my needles. And I think I'm just going to reinforce this one more time. So I'm going to do that off camera. And then I will show you what to do next. Okay. I reinforced, well, I didn't just reinforce. I kind of changed the way I did my, here where I put my cut button, because it was going to be too short on me. So I needed to add just a little bit more to it, so that way it would fit. So because when I did this one, all of this here kind of added to the length. So it gave me a little bit more length for my bracelet, and the other way that I was doing it, it made it a little bit shorter. It would have been a little bit too snug on me. So I just changed it there. I reinforced it, and then when I crossed my needles through this little 2-hole bezel part here, and then I came out through these 15s right before the storm duos, went through the storm duos, and now I'm out of the 15s on both sides. Now let's finish sewing, and I am going to have to add some more thread. Let's just make our way down to this side here. So I'm coming out of my 15-0, going in through my storm duo. Once again, I'm going to go through my 8-0. And I can't get that storm duo. It's okay. Now I'm going in through my storm duo here. Going to come out of these 15-0s, and I'm going to stop. I'm going to catch up on this side. I'm coming out through one of my 15s here. I'm going to go through the other two, down my storm duo, and now in through this 8-0 and out of that other storm duo. which I can't get them both at the same time. That's okay. And up this storm duo, and down these little 15s, and now I'm all caught up. And now I'm going to add 2 more 15-0s, and I'm going to go through this 8-0 here. So I'm going to do I think I'm going to do a green and a bronze. And I'm going to skip this 11-0 here. I'm going to skip this here. I'm going to go straight through this 8-0. And then I'm going to pick up another 15-0, which I'm going to get a bronze and then a green. And then I'm going to go up these here. And see, that's going to do that. I'm going to do the same thing over here. Pick up a green 15-0 and then a bronze 15-0. Whoops. And then I'm going to go through this. I'm going to skip to the first 11-0. I'm going to skip my 11-0s. I'm going to go straight through to my 8-0. Then I'm going to pick up another 15-0 in my bronze and then another 15-0 in my green. So 2 in all. And then I'm going to go through these 15-0s here. And I'm going to do that all over again. So those 3 15-0s I went through. Now I'm going to go down into my storm duo. Through my 8. And I'm going to come back out, come back in. And through my storm duo. I'm going to catch up on this side. I'm going to go through my storm duo, this hole here after my 15-0s. Down this 8. If you want, you can even add 3 15-0s here instead of 2. I did 3 15-0s on the other one that I made, but I wanted to do it with 2 because I think I can just do it with 2. Then I'm going to go through this storm duo here. I cannot see. Okay. Now through these 15-0s. Now I'm ready to pick up, and these 15-0s here too. If you need to have a size 12 needle handy, go ahead. Okay, 2 15-0s, green and a bronze. Gonna go through this 8 and only the 8. Okay, so I was running out of thread and I just removed my needles. I went in, I finished doing this part here, and I just put my needle, I went up through the 3 15-0s here on the side of my storm duo, and I just went in through this storm duo, so both of my threads are coming out of the storm duos inside here. So I'm just going to leave those there. And then I rethreaded, I put in some more thread on my needle. So I'm going to start at the end. And I'm going to do just like I did on the other side, 3 11-0s on one needle, 3 on the other. And then I'm going to go through an 8-0 the same direction. I'm not crossing through it because I'm going to do it like how I did the other side. Like that, like this. So I'm going to just pick up a bunch of 11-0s for this, just enough to go through my button. So I'm going to do that now. I don't have an actual count. I'm just going to pick up what I think will fit, and then I'll test my loop. If it is too small, I'll add more. If it is too big, I'll remove some. Okay, that looks about right. So I'm going to take that same needle with my seed beads. I'm going to go back in through my 8/0. I'm just going to hold these tight, both of these tight, so I can just try my, no, this, I can already tell this is not going to fit. Okay, I think I need about 3 more or so. So I'm going to take my needle out. I'm going to add, that's pretty big, 11/0. So I'm going to just add 2. I'm going to go back down, pull everything, hold it tight, and I'm just holding this all wrong right now, okay? And that, and remember I kind of put some beads on the other side and it's still stretching my loop some, so I'm going to add 1 more. Just 1 more, and that should do it. Okay. You know what, I'm just going to add 2 more. And then I'm going to come down. I'm going to go through these 11/0s there. And then I'm going to go in through this 2-hole bezel, and then I'm just going to catch up. I'm going to go in through everything with my other needle. And I'm going to do the same thing with my other needle really quickly. So I'm coming out of my 8/0. I'm going to reinforce my loop. And everything's going to be getting, everything's going to come loose. It's going to come loose until both sides, both of your strings have gone in through everything and you've tightened both sides. So it's going to keep doing that, but that's okay. Just keep pulling on your needle, your other needle. So I'm going through these, and I'm just going to end it the same way I ended my other one. I'm going to finish going through my loop, go through the 8/0, go through these 11/0s, and then go through my bezel. So go ahead and do that, and I'll meet you back. Okay, so I already made my loop, reinforced it. Then I crossed through my 2-hole bezel, came out on each side, went through the 15/0s before the storm duos, went through the storm duos, and I'm coming out of the little grouping of 3 15/0s. Now I'm going to go down into this storm duo, and I'm going to do the same thing on both sides. And I'm going to continue adding my little groupings of 2 15/0s, then connecting to my 8/0s. Okay, now I'm going to go up this storm duo here. Now I'm going to go through these 15s, and then I'm going to catch up with this side. I'm coming out of this little grouping here. I'm going to go through the storm duo into my 8, and I'm on the other side, so I'm going to come back out, and then I'm going to go through my storm duo here, this hole, and then I'm going to go through this grouping here of 3 15/0s. Now I'm going to do my little groupings of 2 15/0s, and take them out of there. I'm using 2 different colors. You don't have to, but I am. I'm going to pick up a green and a bronze, skip everything and go through this 8/0. Pick up 2 more 15/0s. I'm going to pick up a green and a bronze. No, wait, a bronze and then a green. And then I'm going to go through this little grouping here of 3 15/0s. I'm going to catch up on the other side. 2 15/0s, do a green and a bronze. Oh, I just dropped them both. Green and a bronze. Go through this 8-0. And then on goes 2 more 15-0s, which will be a bronze and a green. I'm going to go through these 15-0s here. And I'm coming out again out of these 15-0s on the side of my storm does. So just keep going, adding your groupings of 2 15-0s. And since I ran out of thread over here and I added thread and I started over here, once I get over here to these 2 threads, I'm just going to tie a knot. This string I'm going to tie with this string with this string once they're meeting. So go ahead and finish your bracelet, and I'll show you the end result. Okay, so as I said, I couldn't remember at the beginning of the start of the video this color of table cut button, but it is the crystal travertine. So this is the other color that I couldn't remember, but I ended up using the jade for my project since I have a lot of green in it. So this is my finished project, and I just glued on my crystals, so I can't try this one on for you, but this is how it looks, and this is the other one. On this one I used like the metallic purple, and I used some blue 15-0s, and I used some lighter color green 8-0s, and on this one I just used a ball and socket clasp. So, and on this one I used the table cut button. So this is the end of our project, and this is how it looks. And I'd really like to try this one on for you, so I'm just gonna not gonna fasten it, I'm just gonna lay it across my wrist. So this is how it looks. Really cute, really cute. So I did a lighter color and I did a darker color, and this is what you got. Now in this one I did the same number of units, but this one still came out a little bit shorter. See, even if you don't look at my clasps, and I think it's because on this one, when I was doing the last part where I was adding my groupings of 15-0s and attaching them to these 8-0s, I was doing 3 15-0s. So it spread them out a little bit more. And on this one, I was doing 2 15-0s and then attaching to the 8-0 and then adding 2 15-0s and so forth. So that's probably why this one is a little bit shorter. And then sometimes also maybe your tension. But, well, anyway, this is what we got. And this is the Alisa bracelet. I hope you enjoyed this video, and thank you very much for watching.